So we do have some very positive news coming in today on injuries and Kobbie Mainoo, who played in Manchester United's behind closed door friendly versus Barnsley, in which they won 3-0, and apparently he was very good. So we're going to dive into an analysis of Kobbie Mainoo's match performance, Mainoo, what he's going to add to United, on top of some worrying news on Casemiro, more updates on Jadon Sancho, his future, the January transfer window. There's takeover news coming in as well on Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but it's very repetitive, so I'm not really going to touch on it as well. And then we're also going to talk about, can Manchester United turn the season around? But let's start into the big story. Let's start into the positive story today, which is that Kobbie Mainoo, Varane and Reguilon are all expected to return for the game against Sheffield United. So Manchester United expected to get 3 key players back ahead of the Sheffield United game. And I have to say, I'm absolutely relieved. I mean, I've been a little bit worried, I think, because of the lack of depth, but I think, Mainoo, Amrabat, Varane, Reguilon, all of these players coming back into squads can help. Now Casemiro's out, we need Reguilon to play left back, so Amrabat can play in the middle. Varane we're just so much better with, and I think Mainoo's definitely going to have an impact on United. And I don't know if anyone saw this, and I will be a bit careful showing this, but Mainoo did this amazing just literally picked it up. And he's been looking absolutely quality in training. He's been back in training today. And in today's video, I do want to speak a little bit about Kobbie Mainoo, what he's going to add, but also reports that he played in that season friendly, but not pre-season friendly, behind closed door friendly versus Barnsley. And Laurie Whitwell said that he was very good. He was very sharp in that game. Now, if you weren't aware, Manchester United last week, they played a game versus Barnsley in which they won 3-0. Now, there was rumours originally that Kobbie Mainoo did not play in this game. But he has obviously been confirmed he did play, because Laurie Whitwell is one of the most reliable guys out there when it comes to being informed on sort of United stuff. It's like the likes of sort of the people that didn't go on international duty, some of the young players, the fringe players, your Donny van der Beek, your Kobbie Mainoo, even your people like Anthony, who need to get back into sort of shape. A lot of those players played in a game where they beat Barnsley 3-0. Now, obviously, Kobbie Mainoo is trending. I think a lot of people are excited about the return of Kobbie Mainoo, and we can't expect too much because obviously the guy is 18 years of age, but he is a fantastic player. And I did write a piece last month about why his return will be important for United. And if you're kind of one of those people that likes to look at Kobbie Mainoo but not quite sure why people are so excited about Mainoo's return, well, this is one. I'm going to read this out to you. Kobbie Mainoo is Manchester United's hidden gem in midfield, and despite only being 18, it's evident that Ten Hag has big plans for him. Mainoo operated as a DM Casemiro role during pre-season. He didn't look out of place at all. In fact, he dominated the midfield in that game versus Arsenal. We saw how good he was in pre-season. What truly sets Mainoo apart is exceptional technical abilities at such a young age. We don't have technical players at United, or a lack of them. He's one of the few players, particularly in the midfield, that is technically good and good on the ball, Mainoo. I said Kobbie Mainoo is remarkably composed on the ball and highly press resistant. He can receive the ball from the centre-backs and advance it forward. He has the ability to play line-breaking passes, addressing a significant void in Man United's midfield. While Casemiro excels defensively, it's evident that Man United lacks a midfielder capable of breaking the opposition's line and carrying the ball forward. The Amrabat signing should bolster this. Again, Mainoo has something that, Casemiro doesn't have, our midfielders don't have, and that is he's good on the ball. He's good on possession, he's good on the ball. When he's being pressed, he's very comfortable passing the ball out, making that pass while being pressed. We see Casemiro give the ball away a lot, we see Bruno can give the ball away a lot, but that's just part of Bruno's game. He's creative. And Mount isn't a possession-based midfielder. He's someone that's known for his work out of possession, his work rate, his pressing. What Kobbie Mainoo showed in pre-season is he's press resistant, he's really good on the ball, he can break the lines, he can progress the ball forward. But what he showed so well was that he could drop deep between the centre-backs or go and collect the ball from the centre-backs and advance it forward, whether that's carrying the ball forward with his dribbling ability, whether that's playing line-breaking passes, quick 1-2s. He did something that actually is so needed in this Manchester United side, that, Casemiro is known for protecting the back four and being a threat in the final third, but he's not known for his progression. And United lack midfielders that help with retention and progression, and Amrabat's going to help with this. But that's what Kobbie Mainoo's game is, which I think is why Ten Hag gave him such big minutes in pre-season, because that's what he's good at. It was said that Ten Hag obviously demonstrated youth in young players at Ajax, so his choice to start Mainoo against Arsenal and Real Madrid is a clear indication of the young talent's importance, which is what I said. Ten Hag clearly rates him. He started against Real Madrid and Arsenal pre-season. Unfortunately, did get injured versus Real Madrid. I said, what I like about Mainoo is he exhibits maturity on and off the pitch, showcasing decision-making skills beyond his years. Furthermore, he already possesses the necessary physical and technical attributes to become a great player. With continued development of his defensive abilities, he could serve as a long-term successor to Casemiro. I've always said with Mainoo, I don't know if he's a natural six. I think he's someone that probably would do better playing next to a six, but I think he's got the ability to play as a six, and we saw that in pre-season as long as he sort of improves those defensive abilities. But he's someone that's incredibly hard-working. He's got the right mentality. He's got the right sort of hard-workingness about him, which is probably what Ten Hag likes. He's versatile. He's intelligent. He's got the technical ability. He's got the athleticism. He's got pretty much everything that he needs to be good at United. Now, I did say, obviously, this guy's 18 years of age. We can't expect him to come in and change everything. I said, look, we've got to temper expectations. At just 18 years of old, Mainoo is like to be gradually integrated into the team. While some may expect instant transformation, it's instant to recognise he's a special talent with immense potential. And I want to make that clear, because I think there will be a few Man United fans that if he plays for the United and he's disappointing, will be like, oh, he's just not good enough. He's not good enough. He's going to be like Garnacho. He's going to play a few games for us and we're going to be like, wow. And he's going to play a few games for us and we're going to be like, he's just not ready. Maybe he just shouldn't have started that game. He was great in pre-season, but I do think he's going to play some games that be fantastic. Other games, he's naturally going to have bad games because he's 18. I think Mainoo's a fantastic player. What will frustrate me is he might have one bad game and fans will jump on him and think he's not ready to play and not ready to start. And people will say, oh, you hyped him up so much. It's like, no, I'm hyping him up because he's an incredibly talented player who is 18. So we shouldn't expect a lot from him. But the potential he is showing, his future at United is brilliant. That's what I've always said on Mainoo. And I think one of the good things about Mainoo coming back is I think, Casemiro's drop-off this season has been massive. I love Casemiro. You know me, I'm a big fan of Casemiro. I've always rated Casemiro. But if you look at actually how he's dropped off this season, it's massive as well. And then if you compare him to other sixes at the start of the season, you can see here that Casemiro is ranking last in all of these statistics. Last year, Casemiro was arguably the best six in the league, or joint best with Rodri. But now he's the CDM that's been dribbled past the most, the CDM that's lost possession the most, pretty much twice more than Declan Rice. He's the CDM that's lost the most of its duels. He's this, CDM that's done the least passes per 90, and he's the CDM with the lowest pass accuracy. You look at all of the statistics from Casemiro, and that is particularly worrying. His drop-off is particularly worrying. Maybe he's playing with an injury. I think, obviously, his sort of the way Ten Hag set up tactically, he's demanding a bit more of Casemiro, which he hasn't got the legs to do. Part of this is Casemiro needs to step up. Part of this is Ten Hag needs to adapt to Casemiro. With the way we're playing isn't suiting him. Certain players need to give Casemiro more support. But as much as I love Casemiro, you can see that his drop-off here is particularly worrying. And that is something that, maybe with Kobbie Mainoo coming back, maybe Ten Hag sees him as a long-term sort of Casemiro replacement with Amrabat, because Kobbie Mainoo was playing in that Casemiro role for the most of pre-season. And, we didn't see loads of Casemiro in pre-season until that Real Madrid game. I think that was just because of rest, to be honest. But I think that Ten Hag clearly has big plans for Kobbie Mainoo. I've said that as well. Now, a player that Ten Hag definitely doesn't have big plans for, Jadon Sancho. It was said breaking clubs from the Serie A, Bundesliga and Turkey's Super League are exploring short-term loan deal for Jadon Sancho in January. So I think he'll probably go to Dortmund or maybe someone in the Serie A. I'm not sure if he'll go to Turkey, but there are clubs ready to get Jadon Sancho on loan in January. He's not in the squad picture. It's been over a month. He's not apologising. If he apologises, he's back in the squad. His teammates have asked him to apologise. Everyone at United has asked Jadon Sancho to apologise. Unfortunately, I don't think Jadon Sancho is going to apologise. He's stubborn, and it's a shame because I really wanted to see Sancho on the right wing this season. I've always been a big fan of Sancho on the right wing, and I thought this would be a big season for him. But before we end up the live stream, the video. I was asked a question. Do you think Man United can turn the season around? And I do. I think Ten Hag, what he did in the first season is enough to convince me that Ten Hag is capable to be our manager. Third place in the trophy, got that team of idiots under Rangnick and Ollie playing some decent football last season. This year, we've had loads of injuries. We've had a lot of off-field distractions. We've just made a lot of defensive mistakes. Some of our main players like Casemiro haven't performed. Bruno haven't performed. I believe that Ten Hag can turn it around. I believe players coming back from injury can help. I think Sheffield United's another game to build confidence on. The only thing that worries me is these players. I know these players like to throw managers under the bus when things get tough. I don't trust these players as a United fan. I hate to say that. I trust some of them, but as a collective, when things get bad, I don't trust these players to throw another manager under the bus. it's time that these players show their mental strength and resilience, because to be an elite side, when things go wrong, if they can turn it around from now on and end up getting in the top 4 and winning a trophy and even getting out of the Champions League group at this stage, which seems like a miracle, and have a good season, it can show, oh, look, we had a rough patch here and we recovered under Ten Hag. And maybe this will be good for us if we recover. Maybe if we have a rough patch under Ten Hag and we recover really well this season, it would be good for the mentality and belief of the squad in case we have another rough patch, because rough patches happen in football. And when things are rough at United, it just like sinks, rather than when things are rough at other clubs. You know. So I do think United can turn it around. I do think Ten Hag can turn it around, but it's on the players. And I don't know how much I can trust certain players to turn it around. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. I will be back later tonight. See you then. Bye.